Thank you, Mr. Ricciuti. As been said, my name is Claudio Vinelli. I'm the president of MEMI Infrastructure Contractors and the chair of the Health and Safety Committee at the GTSWCA. In the last few months, health and safety has been critical, more critical than ever, to the operation of construction. In fact, it was in part, our distinguished health and safety record as an industry that ensured that infrastructure construction could continue operations through this pandemic and avoid multiple mandatory shutdowns required by the province. Although the construction exemptions have allowed our contractors to continue working, the impact these unprecedented events have had on the industry is both unique and significant, as unforeseen changes to legislation have been introduced and operating requirements have undergone substantial modification, resulting in a supply chain and labor-related challenges. As companies adjusted to the operating under these new conditions, and as many were focused to demobilize and remobilize, there was a myriad of considerations unique to every business that one must have considered, grounded in health and safety, with the goal of protecting the workplace from the spread of COVID-19 now and in the future. Our contractors rose to the challenge, began reorganizing their businesses, altering operation strategies, modifying crew sizes, rotating hours, addressing potential site closures, managing supply chain disruptions, allocating funds for enhanced PPE and sanitation, and adjusting to new operating environments required to comply with the COVID-19 policies and procedures, just to name a few. Needless to say, COVID-19 and the subsequent policy changes impacted our businesses. And notwithstanding the many challenges we faced, our contractors have been navigating through the new rules and regulations and managing the disruptions quite incredibly, which ultimately determined our ability to remain open during this shutdown. Our health and safety success is something we should take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate, because many industries have had a much different experience with COVID-19. We celebrate because every single company that's been doing their part to prioritize health and safety and to ensure COVID-19 and health and safety related considerations are at the forefront of every decision we make, and it's paid back tenfold. And this experience really highlights the importance of the collective industry. It's not simply one or two companies investing in health and safety and implementing policies and procedures to ensure we stay open. In fact, if we had one or two companies cutting corners and putting production ahead of health and safety consideration, we wouldn't be in the position we are right now, a stay-at-home work order that's in place. We are in the position because everybody's doing their part and successfully balancing health and safety considerations and maintaining operations. I think it's tremendously important to highlight our industry's success through COVID-19, and it's truly a product of our commitment, not only to mitigate the negative impacts of the virus on projects, but to prioritize health and safety above all. In closing, I'd like to thank our members, our member companies, the committee and forum members, our staff, for their part in keeping our industry healthy, safe, and working through COVID-19. I look forward to continuing in my role as the chair of the Health and Safety Committee and aiding in initiatives that have far-reaching positive impacts on the sewer and water main industry. Okay, so much for the scripted stuff. COVID-19 is real, ladies and gentlemen. It's not an influenza. We've never filled up our ICU units in Ontario with influenza. Our doctors and nurses are literally killing themselves to keep us alive. I want to share a story with you guys, if I may, that's very near to my heart. A family member who experienced, one of my family members who experienced cancer in her young life twice, went through chemotherapy, and after 4 months, I sat down and spoke to her, and she said, if I ever have to do this again, I'll take my chances with death. She recently is experiencing COVID-19. She relates to illnesses and hardships very similarly. She said she's never had a worse 7 or 8 days in her life. She can only compare it to the chemotherapy she had to experience. She waited to take the vaccine, unfortunately, like most of us at the beginning, and even now, let's wait, let's see what happens. If she had not waited, maybe she wouldn't be going through this. Most of her family is going through the same thing. Let's all remember also that all the doctors and nurses, 95% of doctors and nurses in the world are taking it. So basically, if they're taking it, we should probably be taking it too. We should probably be following the science and the medical profession. We all need to do our part to get herd immunity. Let's not leave it up to our neighbors, our friends, our families. Let's do our part in keeping ourselves safe and getting back to a normal life. I personally am on team AstraZeneca, and I don't take medication, fortunately, for anything. But I took it because the science says to take it. My 87-year-old dad doesn't take any medication either, and he took it. When doctors ask him, what medication are you on, Mr. Vinelli, he says, just to take a little bit of aspirin when I got a little bit of a headache. Mom and dad are both vaccinated. There's no better feeling than knowing that they're protected and I don't have to worry about them getting hospitalized. Sad. And let's remember that 75% of the people that passed away are our elderly community. So we're helping them with this. I'd like to finish by preventive medicine. I know it's really hard to do, but we got to eat a little healthier. We got to exercise. We got to keep our stress levels low. This is really, really important. Keeping stress levels low. Consultants and municipalities are designed to give us action. There's nothing we can do. We have to deal with it. So please get vaccinated and get tested when it's necessary. I'm not finished. Today's my last day on the executive board. When one door opens, a few close, and now I'm going from number 4 to number 12, and I'll accept that gladly. It's been an interesting and challenging 6 years. I've enjoyed and got a wealth of information from my colleagues on the executive board. Mr. Tian, thank you. Mr. De Battista, Mr. Ruggieri, Mr. Woodbridge, and Mr. Ricciuti. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your team. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for agreeing with me, and thank you for disagreeing with me as well. Lastly, I'd like to thank Patrick and his team for their dedication and hard work in these past 13 months. Patty, a personal congratulations on getting that A out of in front of your name, being our executive director as opposed to being our acting executive director. You've done an amazing job, and you and your team need to be commended for it. I'd like to also thank Mr. Ruggieri for all his hard work in the last 2 years and congratulate him on an amazing job, Ben. Very good, thank you. Mr. Ricciuti, welcome and good luck. You'll be counting the days when you become past president.
Thank you, Claudio. And Claudio, thank you, Claudio. And Claudio,
I know you'll do a killer job. Start flipping those desks, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, can we move Claudio now?
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you, Claudio.
What?
Sorry, I just wanted to say thank you, Claudio, and thank you for everything. And thank you for sharing that very intimate story there. That was very nice. That's very nice.
I just want to finish by, thank you, telling Mr. Pelletieri congratulations on his nomination as VP.
Thank you.
I know you'll represent us very, very well when the time comes.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Everyone, thank you very much. God bless your families. Let's stay safe and let's beat up this effing virus. Thank you.
Yeah.